So let's kick off with my first book, and then we'll do your book, right?
Which ashamedly I still have not read,
You've not read this first book?
even though it's on my list.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is just a wonderful book. It's called You Are What You Love by James K.A. Smith. He's a philosopher. And, the essence of this book, which is so wonderful, is that we end up taking on the behaviors that we take on because there's an affection we have for them, that we become the things that we do. Mm-hmm. And therefore, you are what you love. So I do those things. The reason a person sleeps in is because they love to sleep in. And you are what you love, which means the more a person sleeps in, the more they take on those habits, they actually become more of the kind of person that might be lazy, might procrastinate things that they should get up early for and do. A person who gets up early and disciplines himself to do that and becomes productive, eventually they become that type of person, right?
Do they love it though? I'm curious. Can it be the opposite, where if you develop those habits that you hate, like getting up early, if you do it enough, do you actually love it?
Well, let me ask you a question.
Or
when you first started, spending time with me and getting me to try to run, what was that experience like? Did I love running?
It was pretty grumbly.
Pretty grumbly, yeah. And what percentage of the time would I say, I don't want to run?
Yeah, probably 80% of the time.
80%. We'd go on vacations and you would always say, hey, do you want to go for a run? And I'd say, no.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to the gym and lift weights and
Yeah.
work out, but I didn't want to run. But now I actually enjoy running. And why have I come to enjoy running? What did I start doing?
You started doing it and making it a part of your life.
That's it. That's right. And that's one of the main principles that he talks about is how do you develop what he calls a new affection? If there's something, if you're not a reader, but you want to love to read. You're not a runner, but you want to love to run. Right? What do you have to do? And he basically talks about, number one, you need to see the value in it. If you don't see any value in it, you're not going to make it a part of your life. The second thing is you got to find somebody that's a model for you, someone that you admire, someone that you respect, someone that you would love to emulate. And number three, you got to practice it. Now you've got to do it. And if you do those three things, Smith says that you eventually, it will become an affection, something that you love. So for me, I knew the value of running. I had some elevated blood pressure, right? I started maybe putting on a few extra pounds I didn't like. I liked running because it made me feel good. It made me feel healthier. You were my model, to be honest. I didn't run with anybody else. You were my model. And I watched you get up early in the mornings and run.
You sure?
Yeah, I did, yeah. And you were training all the time. And then I just started running.
Yeah.
And guess what?
Yeah, now you love to run.
I do love to run.
Yeah, you do.
I don't run your distances.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
you just ran a half marathon last
it.
weekend, right? But I enjoy running. I'll go run 3 miles or 4 miles. I don't run long distances, but I love it.
So you could add to that list then maybe sacrifice. You have to be willing to sacrifice, at least in the short term, in order to develop a new love. So for me, getting up early, really early to work out is really challenging for me. And I haven't found that place of loving it yet. But I will say that I got up this week with Nick, who gets up, every day at 5 o'clock to go work out, and rode with him.
Yep.
And I actually felt really good that day, the whole day. And I got up at 5 and we rode at 6, and I actually felt really good. So,
Would you say that you see the value in getting up early? You understand the value?
Sure. I see it. I think I just haven't been willing to make the sacrifices to develop that new habit.
See, I think what you just said is exactly what he says in the book. And that is that when you were doing it by yourself, it was really hard. But when you had somebody like Nick who was getting up early, you wanted to meet Nick. You wanted to get out there and go for an early ride.
Yeah.
And that is when you have somebody that you're modeling yourself after, doing it with, that makes a big difference. So I think what we would tell people is, listen, if you want to take on a habit that you're going to eventually love to do, if you want to be a reader, get in a book club. Get in a book club with other people. Right? You know what the value is going to be of it. Get in a book club where you see other people doing it, and then start just a little bit every day. Maybe read 2 or 3 pages a day.
Well, your 10 minutes a day principle of reading 10 minutes a day, I think, is an incredible goal to shoot for. Even if you do that, at least it's in your mind. It's something that you're thinking of, right?
That's right.
And 10 minutes a day really is very small in the big picture, but
Yeah.
It's
I think a good example for you would be reading. You've become much more of a reader. You enjoy reading more now
because
than
of your
maybe you did
influence.
10 years ago.
That's true.
Yeah. And it's because
I see you reading 24/7, and we have stacks of books all over our house.
Yeah, you can't help but grab a book. Well, but you've become someone
Yeah.
who really enjoys reading. And when you don't read for a while, you kind of feel bad about not reading. Like you feel like I need
I
to
do. I miss it.
Yeah, you miss it. See, that's a great word. It's not just you feel bad about it, you miss it. And that means, what do we miss? We miss those things that we love. So